It's a tough thing because I'm not dealing with this explicitly right now, but sort of dealing with a version of this where I'm finishing a production on the way to a mix. It's a project you and I've talked about. I won't name it out like this, but and a big part of what my job is taking the productions which are like 94% done and taking them to 100, but I'm not the mixer. So I'm also sort of, in addition to I'm basically getting the rough mix into a place where I do some production tweaks. I've added a few things here and there and switched out some drum things, but then prepping it for the mixer. Yeah. And so it's a lot of what we talk about, especially, when we talk about mixing vocals. I think a lot of people on here are, producing in their bedroom. Some of them are much more accomplished as well, but like, doing things from scratch. And so people have to remember that we're talking about, on the professional level, a longer process potentially from the songwriter. There's production, there may be another producer, then there's the mixer, then there's the mastering engineer. And along that way, there is mixing happening. There are adjustments happening. And so a lot of what we're talking about is the nuances of that. So I don't want people to be confused when we're talking about like, the thing like I never compress. Well, there's types of compression, and this is sort of a nuanced conversation. Yeah.
I started compressing again on vocal recently.
Somebody asked go to Compressor, and I was like, I'm not going to ask John that. But since you said that, what's your go-to?
Ozone 9 Dynamics.
Do you like the Faraday?
Faraday limiter.
Yeah, but that also limits with ratios, doesn't it? So it's not it's not necessarily a true peak limiter.
I'm at infinity, so I use it as a limiter.
So sorry, you like the Ozone one, and
Ozone 9 Dynamics is the only compressor I'm using at the moment when I need to compress something. It's transparent. It doesn't have a sound, and it's not the vintage Dynamics either. It's the straight up Dynamics. And I don't want a sound from my compressor. We talk about that. I want sound from harmonic saturations and other more modern techniques that we've discussed in previous episodes. So I'm using something really transparent if I really need to compress. And if I need to compress, it's almost like I only do it because I know someone is going to want that kind of pinched sound. I am not doing it when I'm in my clip gain, really transparent limiting mode. But if someone says like, hey, I'm just feeling like this needs to be like, have this kind of sound, like I'll do it with a very transparent compressor. And I think that's the best sounding one that I know of.